Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Fast Result 8543 and it says waiting to wed 9 years. I'd 29 female, been with my partner 30 male for 9 years, and from jump I said I wanted to get married and have kids. He told me he did too. To say I love this man is an understatement. I put him on such a high pedestal, which was probably always part of the problem in our relationship. We moved multiple times for my career. I always assumed it was coming. However, it never did. We had many conversations about it, and he told me he didn't know why he didn't want to get married. I waited. I just waited. At one point, he had a ring from his family, and I was so excited. I'd run around the house when he wasn't home wearing it, loving the idea that finally it was happening. That was a year ago. This became such a painful topic for me that I didn't even want to get married anymore because I didn't want a shut up ring. And I felt like such a cliche. The girl that is badgering her boyfriend to marry her. I ended it yesterday. I'm devastated, but I know this is right. I know that another 9 years would pass and I'd still be waiting. Reflecting on this, I'm not mad at him. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. What I am recognizing is as I have zero self-confidence, like none, and that is what I'm feeling most. Just this emptiness because I put myself on an island. I figured I must be a piece of shit because the man I loved didn't want me. I know that is not the truth, but it's what I am actively trying to heal from. I know this will take time, and I'm devastated. How'd you build back up your self-esteem and self-worth in the beginning? Update. I'm with my folks now, and my mum and I read through everyone's comments last night. She actually printed them out for me and tucked them into my backpack. Hope you all know that this has been such a lifeline, and I'm so very grateful. Tomorrow, my amazing parents are driving 10 hours with me to pick up some of my stuff and my dogs, and I'll be living with them over the summer. I'm excited to fully dive into my work and imagine a new future. Very weirdly, yesterday I was driving and Silver Springs by Fleetwood Mac came on, and whilst I was working at a coffee shop, it played twice. Twice! I know it's probably Sirius XM doing what it does, but I took it as a sign. A commenter says to OP, it's time to put yourself on a pedestal. Commenter replies saying, yep, 28 to 29 is when your life actually starts, and it's the perfect time for a rebrand. I decided to get my shit together at 25. Now I'm 28 and I'm the happiest and healthiest I've ever been. I can't wait for my 30s to see how I'll continue to grow. Now that OP ditched the dead weight, she can lock in and find a serious person. Rooting for you, OP. OP replied saying thank you. It ebbs and flows, but I think more than anything, I'm excited for the next chapter. I'm a PhD student, so I will fully be able to focus on that without waiting for someone to come home or like me. A commenter says, good for you for taking control of your life. You should have left the first time he told you he didn't want to get married. Do not let him back in. He had a decade to make you his wife and he chose not to. So anything he says now is meaningless. Invest in individual counseling to help you figure out how to move forward and recognize healthy relationships. Commenter says, therapy definitely helped me unpack and make my life different after ending my 8-year wait. It crushed that the last 5 we were engaged, but he kept moving the goalposts. Opie says, I was always so quiet about this with my therapist because I was embarrassed. When I finally told her what was going on, she said, I'm going to take off my therapist hat for a second and tell you clearly, you deserve better. With the amazing support of my friends and family, I'm starting to believe that. A commenter says, you block him everywhere because he will miss your attention, love and effort and convince himself to get you back. He will love bomb you, say everything you ever wanted him to say. Promise everything you ever wanted him to promise and may even give you a ring. Then you'll realize he could have been this person all along, but he just didn't want to. It's all gaslighting. If he had wanted to, he would have. You will always be someone he settled for because, while he may love you, you are not the person he can't live without. You will realize he can play upon your love to keep you doing his chores, cleaning his house, listening to him speak, washing his laundry and dishes, cooking his meals, making him look good and taking care of his sexual needs. But remember, he's chosen to not willingly walk the future you want for yourself. So you block him now. Get therapy to process that you stayed too long and don't really know what a healthy relationship looks like, and you date yourself. Who are you now? What foods, movies, books, activities do you like now when you don't have to cater to someone else? Take a professional class, get a better job, learn another language, and find some place you've always wanted to live and move. Try a bunch of different classes: yoga, accounting, investing, tai chi, martial arts, painting, calligraphy, cooking from around the world. You have made yourself small for 9 years to make someone else happy. So treat yourself to the pleasure of your company, and every nice thing you used to do for him, do for you. Opie says, so small. I don't want to shapeshift and contort myself anymore for anyone. I want to see what I can do with this really beautiful life now that I am not waiting. The commenter says, take some time to heal, just not too much. If I were in your shoes, I'd find a few things to do that don't involve centering all your thoughts, hopes, and dreams on one person. That's not healthy. Diversify your sources of happiness the way you'd manage money in an investment portfolio. If one asset is going through a rough spot, you have others that are doing better. Resolve never again to make a man your everything. Men don't appreciate that the way we expect. I'm old and I've seen time and again in my own life and others that when a man knows you're prepared to do anything for him in exchange for not very much from him, he'll accept your terms. Then you wonder why you feel taken for granted. Have standards he knows he needs to meet, because it's not enough for him to enjoy and appreciate what you have to offer. He needs to respect you as well. Commenter says, wowza, you had a much deeper understanding of this than I did. What is wild is that I actually have so much to be proud of. I'm a PhD student, I'm healthy, and I have amazing friends and family, as well as a niece. I can't wait to focus more on those things than wondering why, what, and how I can make this relationship work. Turns out, it just wasn't right. Opie responds on a longer thread how her ex took the news when she ended the relationship. Did he step up to fix the relationship, or is he depressed? Opie says that he didn't see this coming. And no, it was a 6-minute conversation, and I haven't heard from him since. We both struggle with our mental health. I reached out to his close friends to let them know what is going on. So it was 2 weeks later that Opie came in with an update and says about a month ago, I posted this. Y'all, I'm not kidding when I say that I'm doing so much better. As everyone predicted, he called and it was just so unimportant. But what came of it was that I saw he never respected me. He never believed me when I said I was hurt or that I would leave, and when I did, he couldn't imagine how someone wouldn't want to be with him. Whatever. This weekend, I'm finding my own apartment and defending a big part of my PhD program. And you know what I am not worrying about? If I embarrass my boyfriend, or if I get some post-mortem lecture about how I behave and how he doesn't like it, or being told to stop talking, or being ignored when he walked in the door, or being treated like what I'm getting my PhD in is frivolous. That shit is not for me anymore, and it never should have been. I said this on another post, but I didn't lose a man. I lost a problem, and I'm better for it. A commenter says to OP, the thought of a guy whom you have to worry about embarrassing, who lectures you about your behavior, and who thinks your PhD is frivolous, gives me an ick the size of Mount Everest. So happy you're rid of that dude. Welcome to the rest of your life. OP says you all are going to fall out of your chairs when I tell you what I do. I research and write curriculum to teach immigrant and refugee students to read and write, regardless of their English proficiency. Commenter says, first, and best of luck with your PhD. Go make yourself proud. Second, have a long hard think about why you had ever wanted to marry and put on a pedestal a man who treated you the way you described here. Opie says yes, that has been a difficult mirror to hold up to myself, but thank God I didn't get what I thought I wanted. So Opie comes in with one more update and says I posted this about my recent breakup. I officially defended my qualifying exam and it went amazing. Here are some highlights. I was invited to be included in a book. The Beyoncé of my field told me I was a great writer. My entire committee is so excited about my next steps and everyone wants to be included in my study. I was sent multiple applications for grants. This all happened in one day, well, after a long hard road, and this joy I'm feeling is just so special, and mine, it is mine. I'm on this path to loving myself in a way that I don't think I could have accomplished if I was still in that incredibly difficult relationship. For anyone who is in limbo and wonders whether they should leave, remember that you have the full capacity to love with everything you have, and sometimes people take advantage of that, and that it is painful in ways that eat away at your soul. Believe me, I know. But that love you have can turn inwards, and you will be better for it. I promise. This is coming from someone who is still in the thick of it, and I still feel like choosing myself was worth it. I will forever be grateful to this sub for helping me and being my cheerleader during this difficult time. I was actually so excited to tell all of you, and I will be active on this sub, giving you the same support you all gave me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The commenter says, okay, I'm misting up for a complete stranger on Reddit. Good for you, and thank you for updating us. Ladies who lurk, This OP is a case study about how there is more to life and more to you than some guy who thinks it's okay to jerk you around for years with his BS. OP says yes, no one is saying any of this is easy. It isn't, and it broke my heart. But I now know that I can pick myself up. I'm slowly building more and more internal security and trust. That comment that she made, "I didn't lose a man, I lost a problem," was absolutely spot on, and throughout this story you can literally see her confidence returning in real time throughout the updates. By the end she sounds like an entirely different person. And I couldn't help notice the irony in this, that the best thing he ever actually did for her was not proposing, because if he had finally gave her the air quotes shut up ring she wanted a year or two earlier, she probably would have married him, spent even longer making herself smaller, and tied herself legally to someone who was dismissing her achievements, chipped away at her confidence, and didn't seem excited about building a life with her at all. So good on OP on the end of this. Absolutely amazing story, I think. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now our next story is one with a new update on it, and if you've heard previous parts of the story before, please feel free to use the timestamps and skip certain parts of it, totally up to you. It's from Throwaway Wedding Drama from the Am I Overreacting subreddit, and says, "Am I overreacting? Shady bridesmaid hijacked wedding shower." Throwaway because I don't want this tied to my main. My sister is getting married and asked me to be her matron of honor, which I was thrilled about. I love my little sister, and she was my maid of honor when I got married a few years ago. We talk once or twice a week. I have a little one at home, and she's younger, very social, staying out late type. She's planning a big wedding, lots of people, lots of moving parts. As matron of honor, I'm expected to lead planning for the bridal shower and bachelorette party. Since the shower comes first, I asked my sister what vibe she wanted. She said elegant. Perfect. I told her I'll organize with the bridesmaids and report back to her ideas that she can choose from/approve. I asked if she has any ideas already, and she said no, but wanted to see what we come up with. She did say she wanted something that would accommodate a lot of people. I created a group chat with the bridesmaids to start planning. There are 3 other bridesmaids. 2 are my sister's childhood friends. I know them, sweet, collaborative, great people. And 1 I didn't know. Let's call her Shady. Shady is actually in the main group of friends of my sister's future husband. They included her as a bridesmaid rather than on the groom's side for symmetry in the wedding party, but my sister is getting to know her more and she's becoming one of her friends too. We planned an in-person meeting to brainstorm ideas. Everyone showed up on time except Shady. I texted and called, no answer. After about 30 minutes I suggested we started planning. We started discussing ideas, games and venues. I mentioned that I was thinking of some elegant venues but that they could be pricey. I'm a little bit older and more financially established, so I offered to cover the cost of the venue, restaurant, hotel/studio, and if the other bridesmaids wanted to focus on games, decor, flowers, and their theme ideas. They were relieved and agreed since they're still in or just out of college. After 45 minutes, Shady shows up and apologizes for being late. We recap everything. She doesn't offer any ideas, she just listens. We all chat a bit, get to know each other, and Shady seems friendly, outgoing, and pleasant. We end the meeting with the plan that I'll tour venues and update the group chat, and everyone else will contribute ideas for games, decor, and themes. The following week I took a few days off work and toured several venues. I took photos and shared them in the group chat. The other bridesmaids responded with comments like how beautiful they were, questions about space and menus, etc. Then showed pictures of game ideas and themes, etc. Shady said nothing. That weekend I went to my sister's place to show her everything in person. She casually mentioned that Shady and her boyfriend had been over earlier that day to spend time with her and her future hubby. Then my sister tells me Shady has already shown her all the venue photos and ideas from the group chat. She then showed my sister pictures of a friend's large mansion, complete with floor plans, and suggested hosting the shower there instead with catering. My sister said she really liked that idea. I told my sister that if that's what she wants, I support it. I want her to be happy and have the shower she wants, but I feel like the rug was pulled out from under me. I did planning, legwork, touring, and shared everything with the group. Shady said nothing in the chat. It went directly to my sister behind the scenes with some other plan that she did not want to share with the bridesmaid group. Was this shady behavior or am I overreacting? Do I confront Shady or keep quiet to avoid drama during my sister's wedding? The commenter says, I bring it up in the group chat, let other girls know the ideas Shady came up with so all of you are on the same page. My question is being, Shady came up with a mansion, does that mean it's free because it's her friends or will she be covering that expense? Opie says it will be free because it is at someone's house. My sister will also likely add this additional person to the guest list if she's hosting the party for the shower. I imagine the bridal party will divide costs for food. I'm going to make a group chat informing the other bridesmaids of the change. I don't know how to word it without sounding upset right now. The commenter says, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. When you're at the bridal planning, she could not offer up a second person's house without speaking to them first. She absolutely had to confirm with that person before she made the offer. And then once she got a confirmation that it could be done, she likely told your sister because she knows your sister better and she spoke to your sister before she spoke to you. She might be shady, but I don't think this is that deep. The only way you're going to know is if you talk to her. But if you don't talk to her and you just start baiting out things and shit-talking her without finding out what happened, then you're going to be the one who's bringing drama. Opie says, I appreciate you giving a possible way to view this. I'm not the type to burn the house down if something goes wrong, so I'm not in any way going to stop being there for my sister or step down from being a maid of honor. I just think there were many opportunities to say, hey, here's an option. I can check with my friend if it is possible. That would have been great. The commenter says, honestly, leave this one alone and tell your sister that you're leaving the planning of everything else to Shady because of what she did. Let her know you don't have time for this and cut off the drama at the head. So it was 11 days after that first post that Opie came in and said, somehow things got worse. This is long, sorry all. Remember when I said I didn't want to cause drama for my sister? Well, I failed. After my sister told me she wanted to go with Shady's mansion shower plan, I decided to be an adult and call Shady directly. She didn't answer, so I sent a polite text saying I had spoken to my sister. She mentioned the mansion idea, and I was just confused about how the group chat planning pivoted into a fully formed alternate event. Very calm, very just trying to understand. She texts back instead of calling. She said she doesn't have a sister of her own and really wants to do this for my sister. Okay. She did not address why she didn't bring this up in the group chat. Then she added she already has a menu planned. My sister agreed to it, she would be covering the cost, and all the bridesmaids have to do is show up and enjoy. Oh, and she plans to use one of the games we discussed in the group chat. Excuse me? So now she's throwing the shower, featuring one recycled game from the peasants. I know I'm not paying anything for this, so she's not looking to take advantage of my generosity. I probably shouldn't have, but I responded that this was something I'd really wanted to do for my only sister, and I was disappointed I didn't even get to be a part of it. Then I called my sister to explain the conversation. My sister said yes, she's good with this plan, this is what she wants and I can just focus on the bachelorette party. If this is what she wants, fine, I will swallow it, but I felt disappointed, replaced, weirdly pushed out. So I sent a neutral message to the group chat saying that Shady would be taking over the shower planning and that it would be at her friend's home. My phone rang immediately. One of the bridesmaids, I call her Sweetie, calls me absolutely shocked because she knew how passionate I was about doing this for my sister. I explained what happened. She was upset for me and asked if I wanted her to call Shady and find out why she left us out. And here is where, in hindsight, punches me in the face. I said sure. Sweetie called Shady. Shady answers. Apparently Sweetie did not love the responses she got. They argue, Shady then calls my sister. My sister then calls me. My sister was upset because there's conflict. I tried calming her down, but I ended up getting upset too and I yelled. I did apologize, but in that moment I realized my sister just wanted me to quietly make this work and not create waves, and I just created a tidal wave. How did we get here? Fast forward to this past weekend. We had an unrelated event where all the bridesmaids were present along with family, and I met my sister's future in-laws for the first time. Shady was there. She did not speak to me, not once. Instead, she stayed glued to my sister's fiancé and his mother. When I met the future mother-in-law, with Shady standing right there, I immediately got the vibe that she was annoyed with me, curt, polite but distant, and I couldn't help but wonder what version of this story had been told on that side. I stayed near my sister the whole event. She seemed happy. Sweetie stuck by us too, but there is now this very obvious divide with Shady, and I feel terrible. I never wanted to make my sister's wedding messy. I just wanted to throw her a beautiful shower. Now somehow it feels political. So now I'm asking, did I mishandle this? Is this a pick your battle situation and I picked wrong? Was I reasonably hurt and this spiraled beyond what I intended? Because right now I feel like I accidentally became the villain. A commenter said to OP, damn, that Shady has screwed you over. Sadly, you played right into her hands and now she is the one seen to be doing what the bride wants and you are the bad guy. To be honest though, as long as your sister is happy, I'll just let the drama fade away now. Totally understand why you're hurt though, and I do think that you're not the arsehole. Opie says thanks for your response. I think this is probably the best way. I appreciate you saying I'm not the arsehole and understand why I'm hurt. I don't think my sister understands that, and maybe that's why this feels unresolved and uncomfortable. And now I've got to interact with Shady for the next few months for wedding activities and act like everything is okay. Someone says, is there a chance that Shady likes her future brother-in-law and is jealous that he's getting married to OP's sister? OP says, no, I don't think so. They've been friends for many years and he was single for a long time before he met my sister. I do think she appreciates his friendship and wants to be involved to a significant degree, but wasn't happy with me being in charge or leading something she wanted control of. A commenter says, sounds to me like Shady has main character syndrome. One idea might be for you and Sweetie and Extra Sweetie to just sit tight and be available anytime your sister reaches out. Let Shady do a little show because eventually she's going to slip up and show her ass. If she is the main character type, she's not going to stop trying to take center stage from you. She's going to bleed into other aspects of the wedding, and your sister and others will see her as she really is. But realize now that you can't stop it. Based on the dynamics you described, know that you can't protect your sister from her because your sister's still buying into it, and she's just going to have to learn about this girl from her own experiences. So there's no reason getting your sister pissed off at you over it. You've already kind of warned her. Now you can just be there when she needs you. So just give Shady enough rope and eventually she'll hang herself, so to speak. Obviously not literally, it's an old saying. It's going to be hard biting your tongue, but just be there for your sister when she needs you. PSA, this is just one of multiple certain scenarios that could play out. OP replies saying, this sounds like the route I'll go. I just have to accept what happened and just be polite when I see Shady. I don't like that my sister's future mother-in-law has a negative impression of me. Shady is such an ass. Commenter says, your sister is an arsehole and owes you an apology for allowing this friend to treat you so badly. I hope you tell your sister that if she thinks her friend is more of a sister to her, then you'll be stepping back. Your sister is in the wrong here, not only her shitty friend. OP replies saying, I didn't think about this perspective. She really is dismissing my feelings about what happened. I'm not going to step down from being a maid of honor. I love her and will give her grace about this. There might be more going on behind the scenes than I know. I know if Shady brought this up when spending time with my sister and my future brother-in-law, I could see my future brother-in-law possibly pushing for this if he thought it was a good idea too, as he is pretty opinionated. This is just speculation though. OP responds to a long thread regarding avoiding making more conflicts and the idea of stepping down as the maid of honor because her sister is disregarding her and her relationship with OP. OP says, I didn't think about that, but yes, my sister disregarding my feelings about what happened. That does hurt. I'm going to give her grace about this, as wedding planning is very stressful and overwhelming. OP's thoughts on if Shady is trying to be the maid of honor due to taking over the shower as she claims to know the bride/sister than OP does. OP says, I actually would have preferred Shady to take over the bachelorette party than the shower. With a little one at home, I've gotten protected over my sleep, and I'm not into staying out all night as I used to be. But I will make it everything my sister wants and drink coffee or an energy drink or whatever. I need to just keep up with my sister and her friends. Someone says, is Shady a family member or related to anyone else in the family? And OP says, no. So it was 3 months later that OP came back in and said, so the hijacked shower was this past weekend, and I have to admit, it was beautiful, elegant, polished, and honestly better than anything I would have put together. I received an invitation like any other guest, no mention of helping, no role, just show up. A few days before, I even text Shady asking if I could bring anything. Her response, just bring yourself. So that's what I did. I had family coming in from out of town for the shower, so a few of my aunts and cousins met at my house and we all drove together in multiple cars. Some of them stayed with me for the weekend. When we arrived, well, this place was something else. A massive gated home, like movie level fancy. Fountain out front, sweeping steps, pillars, the whole thing. Immediately I was like, okay, this is not your average shower. Shady greeted us at the door, all air, kisses and charm. Thanked us for coming and swept us inside like she was hosting a gala, and honestly, the setup was stunning. The hors d'oeuvres were elegantly plated, looking like art displays. It was classy, coordinated, and way more formal than anything I would have planned. I'm pretty sure she saw the look on my face too, a mix of awe and oh my god. She gave this little half smile before moving on to the next guest. Whatever. I knew about half the room, my family, so I spent time catching up. I also made the rounds, introduced myself to people I didn't know, got to know my sis's future family. Sis's future mother-in-law, polite but still cold. I also tried chatting with Shady's inner circle. I call them snotty, snooty and stuck up. And yeah, short responses, not exactly welcoming. Fine. But then I started noticing something else. My family members seemed uncomfortable, and that is not us. We're loud, competitive, and we love shower games. Usually it turns into chaos in the best way. This time, people are subdued, hesitant, and quiet. Meanwhile, my sister was on cloud 9. She was glowing, making her rounds, but mostly sitting with Shady and her crew. She looked like she felt like a princess. I'm happy for her. When Sweetie arrived, she gave me a look that perfectly matched what I'd felt walking in. No words needed. Then came the games. Shady led them, along with her trio. The room we moved into looked like a luxury hotel lobby. The family members that participated were reserved and surprisingly less enthusiastic. It made me more aware of the differences between the families, and that many of my family members seemed like they felt out of place. Fast forward to later that evening. My sister and her fiance came over to my house to spend time with the out-of-town relatives. Everything was typical until my future brother-in-law said something. One of my cousins casually asked why I hadn't thrown the shower. Before I could even answer, my future brother-in-law jumped in and said it's actually inappropriate for a sister to host a bridal shower. I was a bit shocked. I looked at my sister. She didn't react. She was playing with my kid, but I know she heard it. And I started thinking there was possibly more behind the hijacking. Was Shady placed as a mole to purposely take over the shower so there would be a standard that would meet future brother-in-law's family's expectations? My future brother-in-law's family is quite affluent, and while there's never been an issue in our interactions before, it did make me consider whether expectations around the event may have influenced what happened. My brother-in-law knows our family. He's been to our parties. He knows they're fun, loud, and definitely not formal. And his family, they're wealthy, like very wealthy. It's never been an issue before, but he's usually easygoing, but he does have noticeably expensive taste. So I'm wondering, did he step in behind the scenes? Did he think what I would have planned wouldn't be good enough, which is correct? I would have planned something less formal and more laid back. And if so, why not just say something instead of this weird takeover? I'm flexible. I'm really not too upset anymore over what happened. I just have a feeling that people did shady things around me rather than just communicate. This was too blatantly weird to just happen this way. Oh well, on to the bachelorette party planning. A commenter says to OP, write a positive, glowing review of the incredible work Shady did in the bridesmaids chat, how elegant it was, how everyone in your family is still talking about it. Be genuine and show that you're impressed. Thank Shady for her efforts and apologize for the earlier misunderstandings. Express that she set a high bar for all of you now. Your goal isn't to suck up to Shady. You should give credit where it's due. She did a great job and your sister and her fiance clearly enjoyed having a posh shower. Start the group plotting for the bachelorette. Encourage ideas and collaboration. Be half aware that Shady might choose to arrange a fancier and more expensive option. If she does, be graceful about it. If that comes up, ask your sister if she'd prefer to swap your and Shady's roles, so Shady gets the maid of honor role. Be graceful about it. It's not a demotion. It's recognition for the role Shady may be performing. I know that you wanted the opportunity to do these things for your sister, but ultimately, this is about your sister rather than about you. Finally, feel encouraged to create a family-specific event for your sister for any family who can make it a day or two before the wedding. A picnic perhaps. If the weather will be good, invite Sweetie and other close friends and family, including your soon-to-be brother-in-law. Do it as a family member rather than as a matron of honor. Play games, encourage your family to be their enthusiastic selves. Enjoy yourself. I know it sucks to be overshadowed, but your sister is making her own choices. I guess she likes the finer things. It's really hard to compete with someone who can put on an event like that shower, so don't. Have your sister's back. Maybe her future in-laws are the nicest people, but just in case they aren't, learn how to dance with them so that you can be there for her. Opie says, I like what you said, giving her credit where it's due and praising the shower. It was the fanciest shower I'd ever been to, and collaborating on the bachelorette. But I don't see a need to step down as maid of honor. I do think it'd be nice to schedule some family activities before the wedding and try to mend whatever happened. Thank you. Another commenter says, not a fan of the conflict aversion by them. It seems like a lot going on behind the scenes and I actually remember your original post. From what you're giving, it just seems, I don't know, your sister's wanting the elegance and so on, that's fine, but date it outright from the get-go, or have some come to Jesus moment with you. The weird power games are just immature. Why triangulate when you can just talk? Not a fan of the brother-in-law deflecting blame by saying it's inappropriate for the sister to throw the shower. Like, what the fuck is that even? I'd just step back. I'd be heartbroken that the sister was just deflecting. I get she said that's what she wanted, but it's a lot of sneaking around behind your back for it, and I'm just not about it. Maybe the signs have all been there, but all that's being done is breaking hearts like yours. It's sad. Let her be. Maybe she'll come around and offer explanation, or maybe that's who she is becoming now. I'm sorry you're dealing with this. A commenter replies to that saying, "I have a suspicion that your sister's future in-laws are very caught up in the strict rules of etiquette. In case you didn't know it, as much as I hate to say it, your future brother-in-law is correct. According to Emily Post, it is extremely inappropriate for a family member to throw a bridal shower. It's traditionally done by the bride's friends. However, it's important to note that the rule is quite archaic and certainly not enforced. I had a colleague whose son and daughter-in-law were getting married who threw themselves a bridal shower, but apparently these people are too busy looking down their noses at you to see that the times have changed. I'm sorry to say it, but I suspect your sister is buying into this snobby atmosphere. I suggest you retreat, lick your wounds, and live to fight another day. Hopefully you won't get to it, but maybe you can do it for a next wedding." Opie says, "And I was planning the bridal shower as maid of honor, with the bridesmaids before the hijacking." And one more commenter says, "Do not plan the bachelorette. Are you not seeing what's patently obvious? Your sister is part of what a new family and Shady are doing, and she doesn't care if you're hurt. She doesn't want you involved. You should not even be a part of the wedding party. It appears your sister is playing coy, but she approves of what is happening and how you are treated, and she doesn't care about you at all. This is her new life and you are not part of it. Time to step down, back out of everything, and simply attend as a guest and seek your husband's support, as your relationship with your sister will never recover, nor does she care. Please have some self-respect and stand up for yourself. They're going to hurt you very badly and you don't deserve this. Your sister is a manipulative piece of shit and it's time that you see that clearly." And the comments on the back of this were like in two different directions. Some people saying, absolutely just back out of everything, don't be a part of it because you're being treated badly. Well, other commenters were saying, are you really going to destroy your relationship with your sister over a bachelorette party? But for me in this, I don't blame OP for feeling a certain way about this in this situation. She's certainly being pushed to the side, pushed out of it. And OP put in a lot of work to begin with, going on venue tours, putting in work, and was just emotionally invested, wanted to do stuff for her sister. And then was just slowly pushed aside while everyone acted like nothing weird was happening. And I honestly don't blame OP for feeling a little hurt about that. I'm trying to think of my brothers doing something like that at the same time. Yeah, I'd feel like shit at the same time as well. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. Truly, it's absolutely amazing. And I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.